Hey guys, this is Snyder from GosuGamers. I'm sitting here chillaxing on this beautiful Saturday afternoon with ek0p, the man with a cool beard and stuff. So ek0p, last night not very good HearthStone tournament for you, but like you seemed hyped throughout the rest of the day. How the fuck do you do it? Like you were like on drugs, like running, smiling, shouting, doing stuff for the ESGN guys. How do you find this energy?
Well, it could be because I was starting drinking pretty early already, so that could be one of those reasons. But also, I didn't really care because I knew I would be coming here and I would have a lot of fun regardless of how I perform. And that's why I had this mindset: just have fun, have a good time, and get hyped.
This is your first time at Takes?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the first time being here, and yeah, everything I heard about Tech TV was awesome. So I was pretty excited to get here. And it was way better than I expected. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Okay, so first game, or only game played so far against Trump. Kind of like dream match for arena fans, like you against your arch enemy.
Yeah.
Any comment on this?
I mean, I don't.
It didn't go well at all.
I don't really care. I mean, I beat Trump before, so the chapter was closed there. Right now, Trump got his redemption, which I don't mind. I mean, he can win some games too. I don't really mind. As long as I'm not eliminated in the whole tournament, I don't care losing the first round.
How far do you think he'll go?
Trump?
Yeah. He's playing Nimsh next, I think.
Yeah, anything can happen in Hearthstone. So Trump might be eliminated pretty soon. Trump might also go to the finals and win everything. Who knows? I mean, anything can happen in Hearthstone.
We talked to him last night about thinking in terms of arena play and constructed play. Do you think like arena players like you and Trump are in the disadvantage compared to constructed, staples like Savages or SeatStoryCup, for example?
Well, Trump, yes, but me, I don't know. I mean, I play a lot of constructed. I've peaked at #1 EU on both seasons 1 and 2. On season 3, I got number 13 in Europe. That was my highest. So yeah, I don't know why people would say I'm only an arena player because I can perform constructed very well. Just because I don't play any tournaments doesn't mean I don't play constructed.
That's mostly like you're not really known as a guy who goes to constructed tournaments like Savages and SeatStoryCup make appearances in show matches and whatnot, and you just like kind of stay to your arena, I guess, stream. So
well. If people would invite me to those show matches, I would definitely play them. So no problem about that.
Okay, so you mentioned show matches. Like the scene is small still, but and most of you know each other. But there must be a player who you want to face, like in a best of 9, for example, grudge match or whatever, like show match. Who do you want to face, and why?
It's like no real dream opponent for me. I think I've never played SeatStoryCup before, so I would really be happy to play SeatStoryCup. Maybe we will meet in the finals. Who knows?
Okay, cool. So your predictions for the tournament overall before we move to other topics?
My predictions for the tournament is SeatStoryCup is gonna beat me in the finals, I think.
Okay, so pretty ambitious going to the finals.
Well, ambitious would be winning the tournament, obviously.
So bare minimum going to the finals.
Yeah, I hope I can achieve that. Unfortunately, I will have, in order to do that, I would have to go through each of my Dogger House team members, actually, because I have to play Artosis in the losers quarterfinals, and yeah, and then against Savis. Savis will be waiting next round for either Artosis or me, and if SeatStoryCup is in the finals, as I predict, then I would have to face GosuGamers in the losers finals. So
pretty unfortunate, yeah. Doggy House team kills all across the line.
Actually, no. Actually, GosuGamers wouldn't be in the losers finals, right? Because GosuGamers
is playing Trump now, so
yeah. So if I expect that Trump loses to GosuGamers, then yes. So
you want to face Trump again?
No,
just
it's not possible anyway. I think unless
he goes to the other match.
Unless he wins his unless he wins we can technically face each other, but if he loses, then he's gonna be in another losers bracket.
Yeah, think you're playing not Monk, but yeah, the loser of Strife Crow. Yeah, Savis, and then
Yeah, I would be playing Savis, and eventually Trump doesn't even win his losers semifinal, and then we don't even meet against each other. But whatever, it doesn't. I don't care about what my opponent is. I just want to play.
How much did you know about Lucifer? Because he was the kind of the wild card of the tournament, coming from Korea, like a scene that's not really televised to the large audience.
Well, we going into this tournament, we definitely thought Lucifer is the underdog. Lucifer is the weakest player here. He kind of proved us right because he was doing several misplays in his games, in each of his games, and yeah, I mean, he picked his decks very well, I think, except for with the exception of that Paladin deck maybe. So overall, Lucifer can be a good player. He just has to practice some more, I guess.
You mentioned Paladin. Why is nobody playing Paladin this tournament? Like ESGN seasons 3 and 4 were absolutely like the kingdom of Paladins. Kyuki made it. Reintroduce the control build again. Everybody's playing. It was like really big, really high win rate for the build. And today I'm like this tournament. I'm not seeing it at all. We see like Warlock, Kenlock, Zoo, Druids, of course, Shaman, and like not a single Paladin except from Lucifer, I think.
That's because Druid is just too slow. I mean, Druid Paladin is just too slow. Any other class can pretty much outshine Paladin in terms of card quality as well. The reason why Paladin is so bad because it's yeah, for example against Shaman, those if we're talking about the Koyuki version, right, then with the giants, then those giants can just get handled by what's it called, Hex and Thinkmaster. The Twilight Rex get Earth shocked, and overall you just can't put too much pressure on the Paladin. Also, he has no way to deal with Pagel or Manatide Totem as well in the early game. So that's a good matchup for the Shaman. The Druid can also put a lot of pressure on the Paladin, so he doesn't even have the time to like heal, and he will just burst him out with the combo. And so Molten Giants won't be a factor either. Yeah, I mean, and also the silence against the Twilight Rex. Against Warlock control should usually outshine the Paladin control, even though it can be favorable for the Paladin when he has those equalities with the Avenging Wrath, and then eventually maybe even burst him out with those True Silver Champions and stuff like that, because the Warlock control can go low. But against Warlock aggro, Paladin has a very hard time as well, because it's just too fast. I mean, he needs to have Pyromancer equality, but if he, for example, plays against Murloc and he has a War Leader, then all the other Murlocs don't even die to the Pyro equality combo. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the top 4 classes, as I mentioned, Shaman, Druid, Warlock, and Warrior. So maybe against Warrior, Paladin might have a okay matchup, because the Warrior doesn't apply much pressure, and they both have roughly the same amount of late game. So that could be like equal. But overall, Paladin is just too weak in the metagame right now. It's probably one of the 3 weakest classes at the moment.
Do you think the metagame will change back to aggressive class? Because you mentioned the top 4 classes, they're all known for control. But like we see Warlock coming with new aggro builds. I've actually seen a few Druid tokens, like aggressive builds that are doing well on the ladder and in weekly tournaments. People are experimenting with Paladin aggros with differentiating success. But do you think like we can go back to a more aggressive, faster meta than it is now?
I mean, aggro decks have always been there, and they will always be there. Aggro decks have their place in the metagame because they punish those very slow control decks. Yeah, they just lose to those mid-rangey type of decks that can keep up with early aggression and have bigger minions earlier than the late control decks. So yeah, it's always like this rock paper scissors system. Control beats mid-range beats aggro beats control, something like that. You can like and there's like combo in between sometimes with the Miracle Rogue and stuff like that, but that's like a wild card. So yeah, you will always see aggro decks in every meta game, and they will have some success. They will have but sometimes they will not have any success at all. It just depends on how the metagame shifts.
Okay, so the open beta is coming to an end soon, and the game enters like full open phase. And shortly after that, people are expecting the new patch with the new content. There's no information still from Blizzard what this will contain, except the basics like new cards, adventure mode, yada yada. In terms of mechanics and cards, what do you want to see added to the game to make it better?
Well, any sort of innovation mixes up the whole game a lot. We've seen, even with the smallest patches, the meta game changes completely sometimes, and yeah, it's very hard. Like even with the smallest changes, it's very hard to find the perfect decks in the perfect meta game. Like we've seen before, it took quite some time until now for the metagame to establish itself completely, because right now I don't think there's any room for innovation right now. I think all the decks have been figured out, but once we have like the 20 cards or so that are coming with the adventure mode, they're gonna throw this game completely over, and I mean everything's gonna go to ground zero again. So I'm pretty excited for that, because right now Construct is pretty boring. I'm not even having fun lettering. So yeah, I'm just excited to be on a tournament, because tournaments are more fun than lettering at all. I mean, it's gonna be very fun, that's for sure, to like figure out the metagame.
In terms of CCG mechanics, do you want to see something added? There are a lot of things missing from HearthStone. Obviously, if you compare it, for example, to Magic the Gathering, like hand discard or milling or.
Well, I don't think you will ever have those disruptive mechanisms in a game like Hearthstone, because they are just unfun. This card, especially this card, with the small hand size that you have, this card has to be like costed very, very highly if they actually want to do it. And even then, it's going to be pretty good, because in the late game you usually have all those late game drops in your hand, and then it's like the worst feeling if you have I'm having this Ragnaros since 5 turns in my hand. I'm just waiting for the mana crystals. And then my final, and then no, this card. Yeah, no, that's never gonna happen. Also, like destroying enemy mana crystals, that's also never gonna happen.
Yeah, I think even Magic the Gathering don't want to do this anymore. Like Land Destroy is like, this is stupid.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people know. I mean, Magic knows how to target the audience that they want to target right now, and they eliminate those disruptive mechanisms almost completely. So yeah, I mean, it's just a more fun experience if you don't have such disruptive mechanisms. When it comes to mechanisms that I want to see in Hearthstone, I don't really have a preference. I just think that Blizzard has done such a great job of creating and balancing this game so far, and I think with any content they can put out, I think it will be good content, and I'm looking forward to see it.
Okay, I want to move away from Constructed for a while and go to Arena, because obviously, like, Constructed is easy to net deck and see what the best players are playing, but Arena is kind of like more you're on your own. You can of course like look at tier lists and whatever, but even those can help you just a little bit. Any advice to Arena players? Like, what do you have to do to be successful in Arena besides knowing which card is good and which card is bad?
Well, you certainly have to have a good understanding of the game. That's the first and most important part, because you have to understand what makes a card good and why the card is good. I mean, based on that, you can evaluate cards and you can make your own personal tier list when it comes to card evaluation and picking cards for Arena. Then I think that the more you play Arena, the better you get at the game overall, which will also make you a better constructed player in the long run, because it doesn't help net decking at all. You have to also perform very well with the deck. And I think many people who don't come from a card game background will have a hard time trying to jump in with the net deck and just hope that they can get legendary just like that. It's not gonna happen. I mean, they have to practice, and the best way to practice is actually arena, because there you like go down to the basics basically. I mean, you learn the basics of the game, and you see all the different card interactions. So yeah, anything that can happen, you can learn in arena.
Do you want to see some additions to the arena in terms of, for example, how you draft cards? I remember that in early development there's been the idea of actually making it like the Magic the Gathering draft. Like you get in a virtual room with some people and you pass decks around and you draw one card at a time, but this was dropped. But like I've talked to people and they still like having this kind of idea, you know, not just drafting by yourself but engaging other people as well.
This is not possible in a game like HearthStone, simply because it relies on other players way too much. You cannot force to have 8 players in such a type of game to like spend to like Blizzard doesn't want to force people to stay at their computers and be forced to play this tournament, you know. I mean, I really hope that Blizzard will soon implement some sort of tournament mode, but only like where you can maybe invite friends or something like that. That would be pretty cool, because then like if you're organized with friends, then it's pretty cool. But those official tournament modes are going to be pretty hard, organization-wise and also like fun-wise, because it's always waiting for the next round, which is really like annoying to do. I mean, and you cannot do anything in between, because if you like start another game in between and the tournament goes on, and what are you gonna do? I mean,
we can do it. You can do it, for example, for televised tournaments that are like official and with big production.
So the way that other games are doing it, for example, SoulForge, is they have the same system as Arena, for example, but they give you always the options of picking one of several cards, just like in a draft, and you always get one card less, just like in a draft. So you have like, you always build a deck. You also build a deck with 30 cards, and you always get like 5 packs. And each pack has 6 cards, or you get 6 packs. You get 6 packs. Each pack has 6 cards, and you choose from your first pack one of those 6 cards, and then one of 5, and then one of 4, and then one of 3, and then one of 2. And this happens 6 times. And the key how it works is that the frequency on which the cards appear in the packs is based on the popularity of card picks. So in the later picks, when the packs are thinning, like if they have less cards, the less cards they have, the more frequent are the cards that are less popular. So yeah, the more popular cards are getting picked up early, so you won't see them as frequently. So you won't be able to, if they would, for example, imply this in Hearthstone, you wouldn't be, for example, be able to get 4 flame strikes or 5 flame strikes. You would like maybe get 1 if you're lucky, because they are so popular and will always get picked.
You get the wisps at the end.
I think it's actually a pretty good system, and they could implement it. Yeah, I mean, but I'm actually pretty happy with how Arena works right now. I don't mind. I mean, it's pretty OP sometimes because you will have an all shit deck, no good cards, and your opponent will just have, oh yeah, I have 4 flame strikes and 3 pyroblast and stuff like that.
Do you think that something must be changed with, like, for example, limit the amount of cards you can have, like, because yeah, you've played like people have 7 fireballs and they just win, like 3 pyroblasts and they just win. Do you think that there needs to be adjustment in how the cards are generated? Like, you know, the system prevents you from having an OP deck or a completely bullshit deck on the opposite side.
Well, like I said, if they could implement the system that SoulForge has, I mean, it's a pretty good system in my opinion. I think it's actually a better system than what Arena is right now, but it's not necessary, I think. I mean, it's okay to have this OP deck once in a while, just to like brag about it as well. Oh, look at me! I have those like 3 Pyroblasts, so good. I mean, yeah. Otherwise, because if you put it like the Soulforge guys, then every deck will kind of look the same. Because I tried doing a couple of drafts with the Soulforge system, and all my decks pretty much look the same every time, because you will always get the same cards in the later run, and yeah, you will obviously pick the good cards first. So your deck will pretty much always look the same, and you won't have those downswings and upswings with those decks, which are kind of good to have, because it is exciting to have sometimes have a really, really good deck, but sometimes also really having a shit deck, which is frustrating, but it's necessary sometimes, you know. I think this is also like the picture that HearthStone has right now. It's always this coin flip, you know. You have the coin flip Pego, the coin flip Tinkmaster, and also the coin flip Arena deck. I mean, sometimes you have the really good one, or sometimes you have the really bad one. It's just how the game works.
What is missing from competitive Hearthstone in terms of tournaments? Because we've seen people trying different formats, you know, deck elimination, or you know, you keep your class or whatever. But of course, the scene is still young. We haven't seen all. We haven't explored all options of how to create and host tournament. What do you want to see personally as a player, like in terms of innovation of tournament organization?
I personally think that innovation in tournaments can be brought by different formats. I mean, playing the standard constructed format, even if you have access to multiple decks, like in a King of the Hill style format, it's going to be boring after a while.
It is already, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if they add new cards frequently and the metagame always shifts, then it stays fresh. But I think actually Hearthstone at the core is should be a fun game, and should reward creativity and innovation. And I think the tournament organization should go with this philosophy of Hearthstone, that it should be about fun. And I think they should just implement more fun formats, and which reward creativity of players and of deck builders. So, for example, yeah, you can only play rares in your deck, or you have to or you have to build a warrior deck, only warriors, you know. And there's like, for example, like a warrior meta game, you know, because you can each format has its meta game. There will always be a meta game, no matter which format it is, and it's pretty cool to think about what could be good in this meta game. It really encourages creativity and coming up with new stuff and innovating. So I think if there would be more tournaments like this, I mean, with those fun formats, I think it would be really good for the game.
What about team tournaments? We haven't seen them at all. Like every tournament, not at all, but like there are some small team league tournaments happening, but they're not televised usually. Would you like to see more? Like how, for example, StarCraft 2 team tournaments work. You get 8 teams, put them in a round robin, for example, have players battle one-on-one, but it counts towards team success, team's points.
Yeah, I mean, we have those kind of tournaments already, televised and untelevised, and I think there will also be some more team leagues on the horizon pretty soon. But I don't really think that's I mean, it's just a way of expanding the whole constructed tournament theme. I think it's not a step in the right direction. I think they should actually do those creative fun formats, because they are much more fun, first of all, and secondly, they always freshen up the scene.
Yeah. Okay. Your team was recorded for Fight Night 5 against Mana Grind. You will be airing on the March 24th, starting. Without spoiling anything, tease us about the season. Why should we watch Fight Night 5?
There's gonna be a lot of BM. A lot.
That's from you? Or just
Maybe from me, maybe from others. Who knows?
you don't know Reddit hates you, right?
Reddit hates me. I don't care. Bring on the hate. Bring on the hate.
Tell them something that will grind their gears. Like, irritate them.
I mean, those haters are just mad because they are bad. Everyone is just jealous of my success. You can just go into your angry chicken corner and I don't know, cry about pay to win or something. I don't care about your opinion.
Awesome. So I will leave you to enjoy SeatStoryCup. Don't drink Jägermeister because Nims told us if you drink Jäger, you throw up and you don't win tournaments. Drink whatever makes you win. And I hope to see you later in the tournament. This was Nigel from GosuGamers with ek0p for what was like a more serious interview that I actually expected because this guy was crazy last night. So stay tuned to us and we'll bring you more coverage from SeatStoryCup soon.